In this video, we're tackling a difficult yet important subject. The subtle signs a woman might display if she's being unfaithful. Infidelity often comes with a mix of guilt, anxiety, and attempts to deflect suspicion. And while these behaviors may be faint at first, they can be recognized with the right awareness by understanding the signals she might unintentionally give off. You can better understand what's going on in the relationship. Drawing from Stoic principles, we recognize that while we can't always control other people's actions, we can control our response, approaching situations with calmness, clarity, and rationality. Let's take a closer look at some common phrases she might say if she's cheating, so you can spot them and know how to react when you're being paranoid. One of the first things a woman might say when you question her behavior is, "You're being paranoid." This is a classic defensive response designed to shift the focus away from her and place it on you. It's meant to make you question your own instincts and doubt your observations. Many of us have experienced that feeling when something doesn't feel quite right. When you try to address your concerns, she might dismiss them with something like, "You're imagining things," or "You're overthinking it." This isn't just a random comment. It's a red flag, for example. Imagine that you've noticed her staying out later than usual or being more distant when you finally bring it up. She may respond with, "Why do you always question me? Can't you just trust me now?" You're made to feel like the problem for asking a simple question. She deflects the issue and tries to make you feel like you're overreacting, distracting you from the real concern at hand. This is where Stoicism can help. The Stoics teach us not to let our emotions dictate how we respond to situations. When you sense something isn't right, instead of reacting with anger or fear, step back and focus on the facts. Trust your feelings and instincts. They are valid. Don't allow her to make you doubt your own clarity. The Stoics advise us to remain calm and grounded, which helps us stay in control of our reactions even when the situation is challenging. So when you hear her say you're being paranoid, pause, reassess, and trust your judgment. 2. We're just friends. Another common phrase that might trigger suspicion is, "We're just friends." Perhaps you've noticed her spending more time with someone, maybe a coworker or an old friend, and you begin to feel uneasy. You raise the issue and she quickly dismisses it, insisting that everything is completely innocent, saying, "We're just friends, nothing more." This is meant to soothe your worries, but if something doesn't feel right, trust your instincts. Picture this: you've noticed or texting someone frequently, especially late at night. At first you try to brush it off, but soon it becomes too frequent to ignore. She is texting this person during times that you used to share, and her behavior has changed. You ask about it, and her response is a casual, "We're just friends," but the defensiveness in her tone or attitude might raise more questions at this point. Something doesn't add up. The dismissive way she responds is a sign that she may be downplaying the importance of the relationship, trying to convince you that you're overreacting. The key here is transparency. Healthy relationships are built on trust and openness. And if she's hiding the nature of this relationship, or being secretive about it, it's a cause for concern. Again, Stoicism offers valuable guidance here. The Stoics believe in maintaining control over our emotions, especially when dealing with difficult situations. Don't let fear or suspicion cloud your judgment. Instead, calmly assess the situation. Your concern is valid, and you have every right to inquire about things that feel off, but it's essential to handle the situation rationally, without letting anger take the lead. The Stoics would advise you to observe and assess with wisdom, trusting your instincts while keeping your emotions in check. 3. I need space. Another phrase that may send up red flags is, "I need space." At first this might sound harmless. Maybe she's just feeling overwhelmed and wants some time to herself. But if this need for space comes out of nowhere, especially when things seemed fine, it could signal that something deeper is happening. Imagine this: you've been enjoying a normal evening together, watching a movie, talking, laughing. But suddenly, out of the blue, she says, "I think we need space." You're caught off guard. The relationship seemed fine. So why the sudden desire for distance? Sometimes this space isn't about personal reflection. It's a way to create emotional distance in order to focus on someone else. She may be withdrawing from the emotional connection you shared to avoid feeling guilty about her actions in relationships. There are moments when space can be healthy and necessary for personal growth. But when This request for space seems to come out of nowhere and there's no clear explanation. It's worth paying close attention. It could be a subtle attempt to hide something she's not ready to confess in this situation. Applying Stoic wisdom can help you navigate the emotional turbulence instead of reacting impulsively or emotionally. Take a step back and reflect what's truly happening. Here, is this a moment for personal space, or is it something deeper? The Stoics encourage us to remain calm and grounded, even in moments of uncertainty. Your response should come from a place of clarity, not fear. This allows you to assess the situation more effectively and make decisions based on rational understanding, not emotional turmoil. For you deserve better than me. Finally, one of the most emotionally charged phrases you might hear is "you deserve better than me." It can feel like a punch to the gut, especially when it's said out of the blue during a discussion about your future together. At first glance, it may seem like she's simply feeling insecure or self-critical, but often this phrase is a subtle way of communicating guilt. Imagine you're having a discussion about your future, planning life together, when she suddenly drops this line: "I don't think I'm good enough for you. You deserve someone better." It might seem like an innocent expression of doubt, but it could actually be a sign that she's aware of her unfaithfulness or emotional betrayal. This phrase is often used as an indirect confession without actually admitting to wrongdoing. She's distancing herself emotionally, hinting that something is wrong without fully confronting the issue. At this moment, the Stoics would encourage you to respond with clarity and self-control, instead of letting confusion or frustration dictate your response. Pause and reflect on the situation. Assess the emotional undercurrent of her words. Don't allow your own emotions to cloud your perception. The Stoics believed in accepting what we cannot control and responding with wisdom and patience. So if she says something like, "You deserve better than me," take a moment to consider her words carefully. Is there a deeper truth being expressed here, rather than reacting with anger or hurt? Maintain your composure and assess the situation from a place of rational understanding. And in relationships, sudden emotional statements such as "you deserve better than me" often come loaded with deeper meanings. It might seem like an innocent remark or an expression of low self-esteem, but if you truly listen with clarity, you might realize it's a sign that something's off. This phrase, while seemingly self-deprecating, is more often than not an indirect admission of guilt or dissatisfaction. If your partner says this out of nowhere, particularly during moments that seem emotionally charged or vulnerable, it's worth digging deeper into why this statement is being made. Is she experiencing guilt over something she hasn't confessed yet? Is she trying to push you away or prepare you for an impending confession? While it could stem from feelings of inadequacy, it may also be an emotional defense mechanism. She could be trying to ease her own conscience without confronting the reality of her actions. Let's consider a scenario. You're having an intimate conversation, discussing future plans, perhaps dreaming about a life together, marriage or travel. Things are progressing smoothly, and the last thing you'd expect is a comment like, "I don't know if I'm good enough for you. You deserve someone better than me." The statement feels jarring, out of place, and creates an emotional shift. She's pulling away, and you begin to sense there's more going on beneath the surface when someone is carrying a heavy burden like guilt over an affair or deceit. Their actions may not always align with their words. She might not yet have the courage to admit what she's done or confess her infidelity. So she says something like this to distance herself emotionally before confronting the truth. It's almost like a warning shot, preparing you for what's to come. Now, how do we respond to this? The Stoic philosophy teaches us that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control our responses. So when faced with unsettling statements like this, the Stoics encourage us to take a moment to pause and reflect before reacting. The first step is to maintain our inner peace, rather than letting confusion or anger cloud our judgment. We can take a step back, evaluate the situation, and determine how to best proceed. This is where the Stoic virtues of clarity and self-control come into play. When you feel emotionally triggered by something like "you deserve better than me," don't rush to conclusions. Instead, allow yourself to process the statement. Calmly recognize that it may be a sign of underlying issues, but don't let fear, insecurity, or anger dictate your actions. Pause, breathe, and gather your thoughts. The Stoics emphasize that life is unpredictable and filled with challenges, many of which are beyond our control. We can't always dictate how others behave, but we can choose how we respond. This sense of self-control is empowering. It gives you the ability to navigate difficult situations with poise, rather than being swept away by your emotions when faced with statements that leave you questioning the state of your relationship. Practice this form of Stoic detachment. Reflect on what you know, what you're being told, and what your instincts are guiding you toward. It's also crucial to remember that trust and communication are the cornerstones of any healthy relationship. If your partner is saying you deserve better than me, it may be time for an open and honest conversation. Don't let it linger in ambiguity. The Stoic belief is not to ignore your feelings or suppress them, but to understand them and channel them constructively. After taking the time to reflect, approach the situation with understanding and express your concerns with honesty and clarity. 5. I don't want to talk about it right now. Another phrase that can be particularly disconcerting in relationships is, I don't want to talk about it right now. In healthy relationships, communication is essential, and avoiding difficult conversations can be a sign that something is being hidden or that there's an unwillingness to address underlying issues. This phrase is often used as a shield to protect oneself from having to face uncomfortable truths when your partner says this. It's important to consider the context and her behavior. Is she repeatedly brushing off serious conversations? Is she becoming defensive when you try to discuss important matters? If this avoidance becomes a pattern, it may signal that she's not ready to confront something, whether it's her own emotions, mistakes, or the truth about the relationship. The Stoic response to this situation is to avoid rushing in with forceful emotions or pressure. Stoicism teaches us that we should meet these moments with patience and composure, while also respecting our own need for clarity and understanding when faced with a situation where your partner doesn't want to talk. It's important to recognize that pressuring her into a conversation may not be productive. Instead, give her the space she needs, but also make it clear that open communication is vital for the relationship to move forward. The Stoics believe that in moments of discomfort or conflict, we should not act impulsively or let emotional reactions dominate. Instead, we should approach the situation with rationality and self-restraint. Just as we can't control the actions of others, we can control how we handle these situations by remaining calm and maintaining control of our own emotional state. We can better assess whether it's the right time to revisit the conversation, or if waiting for a more opportune moment is wiser. Ultimately, when a partner avoids difficult conversations, it's a sign that the relationship may be facing deeper issues that need to be addressed. Stoicism encourages us to accept what we cannot change, but it also teaches us to be proactive and seek resolution through thoughtful reflection and understanding. 6. I'm just tired. Another common phrase used to deflect attention from a deeper issue is, I'm just tired. While it's perfectly natural to feel tired from time to time, if this phrase is used frequently and without a clear reason, it may be a sign that she's emotionally withdrawing or avoiding meaningful interaction when someone is feeling overwhelmed. It's easy to default to statements like, I'm just tired, to avoid addressing relationship problems or personal issues. However, if this becomes a recurring excuse to avoid intimacy or difficult conversations, it's important to take note. It may be a way to emotionally distance herself without confronting the root cause of her withdrawal. Stoicism teaches us to observe and reflect without judgment. If your partner frequently says she's tired, and you try to connect with her, resist the urge to make assumptions or leap to conclusions. Instead, use the opportunity to reflect on the dynamics of your relationship. Is there a deeper issue at play that needs attention? Does she seem emotionally drained, or is she withdrawing from you for another reason? Approach the situation with patience and understanding, rather than rushing to fix the problem immediately. As always, the key is to remain calm and grounded, allowing clarity and logic to guide your actions. By doing so, you'll be able to better understand whether her fatigue is a temporary state or a sign of a more significant issue that needs to be addressed. In conclusion, phrases like, you're being paranoid, we just friends, I need space, you deserve better than me, I don't want to talk about it right now, and I'm just tired can all serve as subtle signals that something is off in a relationship. While these phrases may appear harmless on the surface, they often conceal deeper emotions such as guilt, avoidance, or emotional distance by practicing Stoic principles. Maintaining clarity, composure, and self-control. You can approach these situations with a calm and rational mindset. Stoicism teaches us to accept what we cannot control and to focus on how we respond when you encounter these phrases. Rather than reacting impulsively, take the time to reflect and assess the situation thoughtfully. Trust your instincts, but approach the relationship with patience, understanding, and wisdom. Through this balanced approach, you can navigate the complexities of relationships and maintain your inner peace. No matter the challenges that arise, if you found this video insightful, I encourage you to take action. Hit that like button. If you found the tips helpful, and share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you handle moments like these in relationships. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Stay tuned for more content designed to help you navigate relationships with clarity and wisdom. Join the conversation and let's continue growing together.